Good morning, beautiful people. You are tuned in to Ways Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? It's a new month and the 11th month of the year, and we're quietly saying goodbye to 2025 as each day passes. I'm Okikiola Taiwo Jalopo, your anchor for today, and with me is my thoughtful co-anchor, Goodness Idehe. Good morning, Goodness.
Good
How you
morning.
doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, I don't know how to put that, but I didn't wake up in a great mood because today's conversation sort of puts you in that state. Um, Many times you've heard about threats to Nigeria in terms of investment, in terms of security, and many other things. We're already battling, internal insecurity in Nigeria, but now we're still seeing many speculations from outside happening. So I didn't wake up feeling excited being a Nigerian. Many times I'm always patriotic about Nigeria, but I didn't feel excited being Nigerian this morning because of the dimensions in which this conversation is going to go.
Same as mine as well, though I'm also a little bit under the weather, so.
It's all right to be there, but yes, today's major topic is definitely surrounded about the bold statements made by the US President Donald Trump about Nigeria. He has made accusations of the killing of Christians, threats of US military action have been going up and down, and we're looking at how these will cause an implication for Nigerians both at home and abroad. We will unpack what he said, how the Nigerian government has responded, and what this means for us as Nigerians. These statements have stirred up diplomatic tensions, raised questions about our security situation, and triggered strong reactions here in Nigeria. So we'll cover the facts, the fallout, and what we as citizens should be worried about or hopeful about. So if you're tuning in for the first time, this is a show that talks about everything that concerns you. Yes, of course, it is Ways Breakfast. Remember, you always be the main ingredient in all our conversations. So I want to hear from you this morning. Our phone lines are open to you. You can call us on 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe now at Official Upgrade TV. Like, share this link, and tune into channel 145 on your Go TV. We'll be right back shortly. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's making the headlines today. Today we'll be highlighting the top stories from the pages of The Punch and The Guardian. I would go straight to Goodness to take us through the Punch newspaper.
All right, so let's look at the Punch newspaper this morning as it leads with 12 Nigerian governors and other officials may face U.S. sanctions, and that's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And just beside the masthead, we have a PDP crisis, Makinde bloc regroups as autumn, and Fayose back Wike. And also we have cool controversy, Silva's brother and driver still in custody. That story is in page 7. Also beneath, we have students' loan, applicants hit 1 million, says Nelfon, and that's on page 3. We also have doctors' disputes, federal government's 11.9 billion naira payout strike continues. As well, we have MDLEA arrest musician, uncovers Lagos illicit drug laboratory. And lastly, we have Duri joins APC today, cites bias as interest. Now let's look at the masthead that leads rather with on the Punch newspaper that says CPC blacklist 12 Nigerian governors, other officials may face U.S. sanctions, and that's in the Punch newspaper. And it says that 12 northern governors and prominent traditional rulers and senior judges are at the center of a looming diplomatic storm as the United States Congress considers a bill that could impose a far-reaching sanctions on them over alleged complicity in what American lawmakers actually would describe as a Christian genocide and systemic persecution under Nigeria's Sharia and blasphemy laws. So this follows the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern by President Donald Trump, that's the United States President, and his instruction to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to act without delay. That was during the weekend, a viral video of particularly a pastor that made a video crying out concerning the genocide of race in the northern region, and we had President Donald Trump giving his comments, which will also even be our focus of today later. So let's move away from there and let's look at another story on the news paper that says student loan applicants hit 1 million, says no fund. So the Nigerian Education Loan Fund has announced that their applications for student loan scheme have surpassed 1 million, marking one of the largest uptakes for a government-backed social intervention since the beginning of the Tinubu administration. And in a statement yesterday, the Director of Strategic Communications, that's Osheyemi Oluwatuyi, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, says that the milestone has achieved less than a year, after the program was launched on May 24th, 2024. And he described it as an evidence that the scheme is gaining strong national traction and public trust. I'm wondering, for it to have hit 1 million student applicants for the student loan, it shows that, and it should be a concern for them, showing that there is gradually an high rate of poverty in the country. Because if this is in the news that it has hit 1 million, for students, imagine what every other person in the country is experiencing. And I don't think it's something that they should be proud of, that, oh, we have more applicants. This is to tell you that a lot of the citizens are suffering. And that's why they can't even afford to pay their fees, which on a normal day, education is supposed to be a basic necessity in the country. I mean, there are even other countries, even the US, the Donald Trump, that had to talk concerning the genocide issue in Nigeria. Go to US. Most of the education, like you see scholarship offers, even to international students. I bet you, I don't even know if Nigeria could even afford to give a lot of international scholarship offers to other countries. So if within the country, students are taking loan and it has gotten to that extent that they can't even afford, then it's something that we should be bothered about. So what do you see about that?
Well, I would say that I share a different perspective to what you're saying. Okay. Naturally, if I feel that I could use the upfront of maybe my school fees or something for, let's say, a business, a startup, or whatever, I would still apply for the NEL fund. Why? Because I feel like that gives me space to still be able to explore. So while we might condemn the number of applicants, I think it's encouraging that people even want to go to school, whether by loan or by paying their full amount. The context is that people are interested in schooling. We have so many out-of-school children that is even more alarming that they don't even apply, right? So that's why I said that I might share a different perspective to what you have said. So it's kudos to people who have, whether they are really poor, whether they need the loan or not. It's kudos to people who have applied to go to school either way. And maybe Nigeria, just like you have highlighted the problem, that this should concern them, that this many people who want to go to school and cannot afford it. This only helps Nigeria to see that they need to create more space. The same way there was no loan or fund before, it was bursary. I remember very well that it was bursary for indigenes of different states.
That one didn't work for most students, even from different states.
It worked for me.
Okay.
That's why I have to, I'm talking as per my lived experience.
Okay.
It could not work. Maybe some people experience, maybe otherwise, but bursary worked for me as an indigene of my state, right? So it could work for many people. It could not work for many people. But the intention behind it is that more people get to go to school. If you cannot afford it, the government has created a platform where you can apply, you understand, and afford schooling. So let me still give the Nigerian government, this morning, I don't want to damn Nigeria totally. Let me give the Nigerian government a kudos for creating that platform where people, or that initiative where people can apply to go to school on loan, which many countries are currently doing, where maybe at the end of the day, some of these developed countries always help the students with internships somewhere, or maybe work experience where they can actually pay this money back. It's not like when they are done, they'll go back into unemployment and start to struggle again. So the bigger picture is that while many people have, you know, registered and say they want to go to school, let the government also see this as an opportunity to start an initiative that allows, you know, internship even after, or work experience even after their individual discipline. So that's all that I can say on, you know, your story. Yes, but the Guardian also has quite a lot of stories here. Trump warning unsettles Nigeria, raises concerns over religion and sovereignty. Another story here reads, how DSS aborted Utomi's aberrative shadow cabinet through legal process. NRC train derails 189th time, God I beg, 3 days after resumption. Resident doctors, federal government clash over 48 billion naira arrears as strike paralyzes hospitals nationwide. And finally here, NUJ decries surge in attacks, impunity against journalists. There's so many things I want to talk about, but let me just talk about this strike that has been happening. And it's quite sad to see. I said it many times that I don't blame doctors for going on strike. Many lives might be lost at this, but imagine seated for 10, 11 months, being underpaid to start with, and you now have to wait 11 months to get it, and you're not even sure when you're going to get that money. So it's quite sad to see that the health sector is still very much underappreciated. It's still very much not of concern to the federal government. And you see where they are saying they want to increase the president, this one's allowance. But look at the health sector, the educational sector is still lacking. I watched one video where the president was speaking about his concerns that he might not be able to promise us any other thing, but what he's going to promise us is that what he has started, he will make sure he finishes. Where we are going, he will make sure we get there. And he was talking about agriculture, mechanization of agriculture. He was talking about what's it called again? He was talking about education. But we look at those two things. He has only signed on the reform. Have we seen results? No. How long are we supposed to, you know, wait to see results? So that, I think that's the only thing that I can pick solely on this strike, that as much as the doctors are in their right to strike and demand for their pay, if not better pay, their pay, let's also be lenient towards the Nigerians who all our lives, like literally all our lives, are totally dependent on how available our doctors, our dear doctors, you know, are attentive to us. So I would love to take your comment, but I would not be able to because we are running out of time. And basically that's all we have on today's newspaper. We'll go on a quick break and of course return with our hot topic for today. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, Addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Well, today the conversation is about Donald Trump's stance on the alleged genocide in Nigeria and its impact on Nigerians. So let's start with the core of the issue and what exactly Trump said. On Saturday, November 1st of 2025, Trump announced that he had ordered the Pentagon to begin planning for potential military action in Nigeria, referencing the killings of Christians. He wrote on his platform, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Then on Sunday aboard Air Force One, he said, could be, I mean other things. I envisage a lot of things. They are killing record of numbers of Christians in Nigeria. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that happen. He also declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern for religious freedoms violations. In another tweet, he said Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria and thousands of Christians are being unalived. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. So in summary, he used strong languages like disgraced countries, guns are blazing, wipe out the Islamic terrorists, record numbers of Christians being killed, all signaling that the United States is taking this seriously and might intervene militarily. But before I bring goodness into this conversation, I would like to read some tweets and ask what this news has got her thinking. So, the popular on Omoyele Shore has said something about this. I would read that. So he said the latest threat by the U.S. President Donald Trump to launch military action in Nigeria, allegedly to protect Christians, may sound appealing to some. Still, history has shown this to be perilous. Whether you are Christian, Muslim, animist, or non-religious, no one should celebrate such rhetoric. The United States and its allies have a long record of military interventions that leave nations more unstable than before. They failed to secure peace in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, or Syria, and they won't bring salvation to Nigeria through bombs or boats on the ground. What Nigeria truly needs is not for a foreign savior, but legitimate, accountable leadership, one that protects all citizens, upholds justice, and ends the circle of corruption and violence that have left the nation broken. And then he directed this to us as Nigerians, saying, Donald Trump does not care about Nigerians, not Christians, not Muslim, or anywhere else. Our deliverance will never come from abroad. It must come from within. True, real leadership. And then he said in his own words, not the Ashewaju Bola Ahmed of this world, and national renewal. So, goodness, we have seen a tweet from Shore mentioning how Trump is not a savior. And then I saw one other tweet where they were saying that by the time they come in, they will have to set up a base in Port Harcourt. And then people just started, talking about insecurity is happening in the north. What are you going to look for,
In Port Harcourt.
base in Port Harcourt for? And then people started to talk about the oil reserves and all of these things, that's the major target of the Americans, of the president. Let me not say of the Americans, of the president himself. And then many people have also said that, oh, that's wrong to think. The genocide is happening. If Trump says he can help, then let him come and help. In fact, even Boala Major General Bala has also said that they are welcoming the U.S. assistance on the condition that they don't interfere with the integrity of Nigeria and the sovereignty, of the country. So, what do you think about this? Donald Trump's perspective on the genocide or the alleged genocide that's happening in Nigeria, and his stance as to his military action against it?
First of all, we need to consider our sovereignty state. So, if Donald Trump is coming with the U.S. military, remember that we've experienced military regime before. And we actually know how it went down the rain, right? It wasn't something palatable that every citizen would like to experience again. So if we're having, it's fine having an assistant from another country, right, to come and help us in probably resolving our situation, because they could have, the US, they have more technology than what Nigerian has. And they are more equipped. So like their military personnel are more equipped, I'll put that, compared to Nigerian military personnel. So if they are coming to assist, is different. But on the other way, have we ever had a country coming to assist one country without, let's put it that way, without any initiative, or I don't know the proper way to use it, any agenda that is hidden behind it? Because most countries we've seen, they are coming to even look at several countries that have gone into war and everything. When you have other countries assisting them, there's always like a bilateral agreement between both countries. So I don't think with the situation so far, there was the first time recently we had an issue with even the US president himself when he asked Nigerians to take in those refugees coming in and everything, deportees. Nigerian government refused and everything. As at that moment, he never really liked Nigerians, to put it out there. And Donald Trump had a back-end history of internalizing discrimination among skin colors and everything. So if he's saying at this point that he wants to come, and moreover, he doesn't even have the full right to just, come into our country. Nigeria is a sovereign state. We are independent. And if he needs to come, he needs to pass through the process. But we should just mind that there is, like what Showore said, there will always be something behind it, because one of the G countries can't just come to Nigeria and just want to come and assist you without not thinking that they want to have something in report. And probably their stationing in Port Harcourt could also have a means of targeting our major resources in the country. All countries in the world knows that Nigeria is blessed. We have enough resources. It's just mismanagement and bad leadership that is the problem. So if other countries, trust me, they are high in our country and they're thinking of several possible means they could have access to the country. So it's something that we should raise our eyebrows, that the whole US president is so keen and interested. This is a few months ago, Nigeria, concerning the visa and everything, Nigeria was not even really favored. So if you are not showing deep interest and concern in our problems, then there should be something.
So there are many things. I will take it back to first. I think the US president started having issues with Nigeria as far back as when they joined BRICS. We also had the deportee situation. We had the import tax situation where Nigeria said we're unfazed, we'll be fine. There are many other countries that we can, tally with, and then business will still go as usual, because we're so rich in many things that is needed by other countries and ourselves. So they will be doing just fine. So while you said that the US intervention might do this, do that, we have had a lot of funding internationally, especially with combating crimes. I think one of the issues that I've had is the transparency as to what this money is used for. As much as these bandits and terrorists. I won't call them Islamic terrorists. I'll just say terrorists. As much as these terrorists and these bandits are also getting funding, our troops are also getting their funding. My question is, where is the funding? Who are funding these people? Who are funding these terrorists? Who are funding these bandits? That's on one hand. On the second hand, the funds that have been brought to tackle insecurity, of what has it done so far? What have we seen so far? What has happened so far? We see news now after this whole Donald Trump coming. We started seeing so many news. Military coup tackles one community, gains back peace. We just saw different stories that have not been common, that we have not seen many times, or maybe because it's this story now that is bringing some of these good news, if I'll put it, where our military troops seem to be winning over banditry. I'll read something that is very profound, and I completely agree with. Somebody on Twitter said, Nigeria's violence doesn't start or end with religion. It's deeper than that. It's poverty, corruption, failed leadership, land disputes, and a justice system that has stopped working for the people. Christians are dying. Muslims are dying. Innocent people are dying, and the state keeps failing to protect them all. But the West loves a simple story: Christian genocide. It sounds dramatic, emotional, and easy to sell. It fits their script, paints them as saviors, and makes headlines that travel faster than truth. Yet, we've seen this movie before, and it never ends well. They said they wanted to protect civilians in Libya. Now, Libya is a shadow of itself, broken and bleeding. They said they wanted to bring democracy to Iraq, but turned it into the birthplace of ISIS. They claimed Syria needed saving, and half the country was reduced to rubble. They turned Sudan into an experiment, and today civilians are stuck between hungry warlords and hopelessness. Even Mali and Niger, once peaceful, got dragged into foreign partnerships that only left them weaker. So yes, when I hear the same genocide talk being thrown at Nigeria, I get cautious, not because the pain isn't real. It is. The tears, the graves, the fear, all real. But I've seen how quickly we want to help turns into we came, we bombed, we left. And it's always ordinary Africans who end up paying the price. The truth is, Nigerians' problem has never been Christian versus Muslims. It's leadership versus accountability. It's a system that values power more than the people. A country where empathy has replaced with excuses. If we don't fix that, one day someone else will come claiming they want to help, and by the time they are done helping, they might not even be a country left to save. And that's why I said that I completely agree with this statement, because it says everything that I would want to say in summary. It would say everything that I want to say, but let's just take a break. But we will take a break with this very funny comment from somebody still on. I don't think Twitter is a safe place for anybody, because Twitter always has the most hilarious comment. So this person said, "Wo make US do as them like ekpa gbogbo wa danu. If the US are serious, they should start on Monday. Please, I don't want to go to work." What is this? Like, Nigeria, what is this statement? Emma Paemio, I don't know. For you non-Yoruba speakers, this person is saying that the US should come and then just unalive everybody. This person is saying that they don't want to go to work. See, I'm sorry. I want to go I'm currently at work, so it's a personal decision. But yes, let's go on a break. We'll be right back shortly.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Welcome back to the show. Of course, we went on break with that very funny comment from an ex-user. Let me quickly read another one. Somebody here said, "Thank you, President Trump. I kindly ask that you also look into the housing situation in Ibadan. The housing agents are making life difficult for me with their ridiculous expensive rent prices, all because of installed POP ceilings." So Nigeria, let's chill. Let's chill. We and Cruz, it's almost like that's why this man called us, or this president called us disgraced country. Because I was already angry to hear disgraced country. And then now somebody is now telling me about POPs. Like why? Why is that happening? We have a comment on our YouTube page. Okpe Agbe Okpeyemi said, Nigeria remains a sovereign nation. No foreign country has rights to bring their troops or establish a military base here in Nigeria.
True.
Yes, very correct that they don't have the right. They have to follow due process. It has to be approved by the government to whether or not the assistance is needed or not. And that's why they kept on establishing the fact that Nigeria is a sovereign state and they can handle, their own issues by themselves. Okpeagbesil said, "This morning I saw a suggestion from someone in the US that Donald Trump should establish a base in Port Harcourt. At the end of the day, there will always be ulterior motive behind their savior narrative. They will indeed make it worse. The Nigerian government instead should respond strongly to this statement, but unfortunately, Nigeria has no ambassadors in any country at the moment. The Nigerian government should wake up to the responsibility of the welfare and security of its citizens." As I mentioned, the president still came out recently to say that he can't promise much, but what he can promise is that he's ensuring security back into Nigeria through many means. Just like many comments that I've also read here, where they have said that our issue is beyond religion, is beyond ethnic, is beyond religion, particularly because of the Christian genocide. We have poverty, we have land disputes, we have justice system that is not even working. So Nigeria has so much to do, so many responsibilities, but being called a disgraced country with over 200 million people, I'm sorry, sir, I would not agree to that statement, because there's so many things that's not working. Country that has helped many countries remain the way they are, a disgraced country. We have the bad and good side. It doesn't give you the right to totally and absolutely call a country and its people disgrace.
I've seen. I'm not that surprised, because it's very fond of the U.S. president to always use another country as a lampoon. Right,
with the kind of gun violence that's happening
every
day in the US.
Because even in the US, they have their own crisis too, and they're not justified enough to say, oh, if Nigeria is a disgraced country, it's a country that they need to praise and everything. There are still some people that are still striving to leave the United States of America to other countries I mean, even currently, the rate at which people just come out, the inefficient policy when it comes to regularization of even owning a gun and everything in their own country is also alarming to them. And mind you, it's even in the US, there's still some people that are still even suffering. Let's just put it that way. It's not everything they just put online on the social media is just something that, oh, it's so sweet to entice people coming. But I bet you, there are still some people there. They still have beggars on the street. They still have people that beat the drum box on the streets to beg for arms.
Goodness, I'm sorry to cut you. There's so many homeless people in the United States that it is absolutely unbelievable. The way the US is currently suffering, in case they are not aware, many people always have to rely on food banks to get at least a meal per day.
True.
So if we're talking about problems here, let's just agree that everybody have their own, like you get your own problem, I get my own problem. Is the genocide really happening? As I said, the pain is real. We are seeing killings, we're seeing mosques burned down, we're seeing churches, we're seeing people being attacked on a daily basis, we're seeing people kidnapped on a daily basis. We have not even gotten ahead of that yet. For you to now say that you want to aid us, you are generally concerned about Christians in Nigeria, is also giving what is not supposed to give. If you're talking about Muslim tickets, you know, even we Nigerians, we complained about it, that why do we have 2 Muslims on the seat? Or some Nigerians, let me not be absolute about the total Nigerians, some Nigerians complain that why is there a Muslim ticket? In the US, what do we have? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We still have him with his own perspectives, with his own beliefs and all of that. And many United States citizens are still clamoring against it. We're looking at the whole ICE situation and the deportation situation where even people are like they are protesting against being deported, the fact that they came there legally. So if you came legally, you came illegally, they just want you back in your house. And you are pained because Nigeria said no. If we want our people, we can't take our people back. Our people, some of our people don't want to stay. Some of our people are not even enjoying the best of their years there and they want to come back. But that's not like, that's a secondary issue. But the primary issue is that while all of this is happening, we all know, giving the examples, Syria, Libya, Sudan, you don't give solution. What you give is more problem. So I, as a person, we don't need it. I would say that we don't need it. We already have Amnesty International, which have a base here in Nigeria, trying to tackle insecurity. We have many international bodies. We have analysts.
We even have the UN peacekeeping mission, yeah?
that are here in Nigeria trying to tackle the insecurity. So why are you threatening with
your own military?
Your own military. Use your military to solve your problem. Don't worry, we're going to solve our problem.
And I'm even wondering, is it that he's trying to use there's something they call third banana country? Maybe he sees Nigeria as one, because in one of his the news I think last week I saw where he said the US will soon start testing their military weapons. It should not be that Nigeria is a place where he wants to use as his testing ground. They have enough space in their country. They could use. As
somebody said, Sudan is already an experiment that has now become a shadow of itself. I watch videos of the genocide happening in Sudan, and I'm like, this is scary. So I'm imagining people who have faced that same alleged genocide here in Nigeria. I'm imagining the pains that their parents, their loved ones, their guardians might have faced. But now we still have, beyond that, we now still have external people who have gone in the case or put themselves as saviors, but have not been able to maintain peace.
Yeah.
You know, for how many months now we've been watching Sudan go down the drain almost every day. I've seen where women are being hung. I've seen where children are dying. So Nigeria might be experiencing a lot of issues, but we have not gotten to that extreme yet. And I'm so sure that we will not get to that stage. What I need really is for the government, the federal government, to look into the Nigerian government, to look into the issues that the whole world is highlighting. So many of them have come to say no genocide is happening in Nigeria. And is that denial that is causing this ruckus? Is that denial that say, can we have a situation where we can say that, yes, we have highlighted that certain numbers of Christians have been attacked in the last 5 years? Can we say that certain numbers of Muslims have been attacked in the last... Can we say that this version has been like a statistics that is categorically highlighting the many issues that we have in Nigeria, and then place the priority on the one that is the most damning to the country and just attack it as seriously as possible? I saw one story, they were saying that we have over 120,000 people who have surrendered and have repented. That is not what I want to hear. Surrendered from what? From continuing. As 120 people is 1,000 people are surrendering, they are recruiting children, they are recruiting women, they are recruiting many others. We are talking about 200 million Nigerians, and you are talking about mere 120,000 who have surrendered. So it is shameful to come online and say that, forget what they are saying, forget about the Christian genocide. What is really happening is that people are repenting, and that is what matters. That is not what matters. That is just a part of a problem being solved, maybe being solved. The real problem is that we have to address this issue like our life depends on, like the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to address this issue like it's his life that they are after, because literally it's his life and all other Nigerians' life that many of these countries who are putting... China can decide to wake up, Russia can decide to wake up tomorrow and say, we will not appreciate that this certain group are also being marginalized, so therefore we want to come in as assistants.
Then that means they've taken the particular country
at this point,
as
I'm even tired of international assistance because many times it seems like, yes, we are happy that the interference have come. If we really rate how many, or the rate at which you have seen the interference yield positive results, we don't see it. Look at the Lekki Toll Gate massacre that happened. We saw international interference from analysts, from observers saying that deaths happened, this one happened. Nigeria say nothing happened. Did anything change? They went on court. They went to court. They said it will be addressed. It will be displayed. It will be. They found the camera. We saw this
under the carpet.
God bless you. We saw so many things. I know that we as Nigerians were very religious, but religion is not the basis of all of us. Why? Because there's also the percentage of people who are non-religious. They don't care. If you say that Christians and Muslims are dying tomorrow, they will tell you that it's none of their business. Why? Because they are not part of that faith. But that's why I'm trying to say that we have to bring it back to basic human rights, which means that humans have the right to live, or use another word. Sometimes English can be hard, especially when I'm agitated or angry about something. Let it be that you have the permission or you have the right to be who you want to be, just by the virtue of your country giving you the basic amenities to become that thing. Not by insecurity, not by banditry, not by kidnapping, not by lack of education, not by poverty, not by land disputes, not by the justice system. We still have the situation of Ochanya. We're still struggling. Like, we have so much on our hands that and international interference will not...
We even worsen it. Because it's going to even cause more issue in the country where there will be disunity. Because imagine the U.S. military coming to interfere, meaning there will be more crisis in the northern region. There will be more lives that will be lost. Because if they are coming to fight them, honestly, there will be people that are going to lose their lives, even the innocent ones. And it's going to worsen the case rather than even saying, oh, it's going to reduce it. And I even beg your pardon to ask this question, right? This issue of this banditry and everything, in a way, I was just thinking that could it be that there's still some part of the government that are funding them, really? Because whenever such thing arises, you get to see where the government are asking for or they need funds to fund insecurity personnel and everything to go to the northern region, right? To get this thing settled. They get their funds. As well as those other people to get their funds too. So I'm just asking, That's what do you say about that?
So I personally feel that there's funding somewhere. And then the so many generals, major generals, have come out to say that by the time they catch some of these people, they see hard foreign currencies, with them. So where exactly is this money coming from? So in that interview, the interviewer asked that, can you specifically, say that this is, or what are your suspicions? And it was like, he will just say what he wants to say. But based on the realities that they have seen, they've seen how many times these people are caught and are caught with, foreign currencies. And that gives them the notion that they are being
backed by
funded
foreign people.
by not just the local people, but indeed some international people or organization or government or whatever are also funding this banditry for it to look bad, or for a particular
Or for some of them to come in and act like a savior.
and saviors. Thank you. But then we also have comments here again. Okwegbe is still saying that the U.S. government in itself faces daily gun violence. Thank you. And is currently on shutdown. This is why the Nigerian government should respond strongly to that statement. Rather the posture of I'm not sure that finished. But Michael Elijah said, the truth is Nigerian government don't want to handle our own problems. Maybe is the reason why US is coming to help us. See, US is not helping us. Like, let's just first get that idea out of our head. What I want Nigerians to see is that we have a big problem and nobody is coming to save. No one will save us genuinely without ulterior motives. We might tackle the issue in the north, and then the north seems silent, not peaceful. The north might seem silent, but there are many other things that we might lose in the process. So maybe if we're asking that, should we prioritize our resources over the lives of Christians? That question, I will leave it to you. So answer, should we prioritize the life of Christians or people over our resources? If we lose our resources, what is left for us as a country to survive? So let's start to ask ourselves that question, because the Nigerian government has denied that there is no Christian genocide. And even analysts have noted that while Christians are certainly victims of violence, available data shows that many victims in Nigeria are Muslims, as well as the violence is complex. As I said, it's not simply a targeted Christian genocide. In fact, researchers at the organizations like Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project say that many attacks are not purely on religious lines, but involve ethnicity, land disputes, banditry. So what we have is a scenario right now where the US sees one side of the story, Christians being killed in very large numbers, while Nigeria and analysts say that the reality is more nuanced. That nuance matters, is what is affecting how Nigerians feel about the legitimacy of the claim, how the international community has been responding, and what may happen in terms of policy or intervention. And goodness, let me not put you on the hot seat because we are wrapping up. Do you think that there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria? And if the US proceeds towards this military action or major sanctions, is Nigeria's sovereignty not at stake?
For me, let me just use one statement to answer all, right? I feel there's genocide, but it might not be on one side. It could be on both sides. That's just the truth. And the US coming to intervene, if they really want to assist by giving us military personnel, let them join the UN peacekeeping mission. We have something like, we have the UN body, even the military arm of it that goes to country to help during insurgency and crisis issue. So if they want to lend a helping hand, let them go through the UN or the United Nations, the UN peacekeeping operators. Go through them, give them more military personnel to come to our aid and resolve the issue. That's what I feel.
Well, many people don't agree. I saw a tweet where they said that they put together different compromise Christians and Muslims to come and talk about it in public TV. But one Christian leader, I would not mention name, said that many Christian communities in parts of Nigeria have suffered severe attacks, loss of lives, and the destruction of places of worship. But the other person countered it and said that jihadist violence in Nigeria is indiscriminate, and many attacks target both Christians and Muslims. But if we really look at it, how many of us sit back and think about the other person, right? As a Christian, I would be passionate about what is happening to Christians. Why? Because that is the faith where I sit at. Also, looking at Muslims generally, non-violent Muslims, or let me just say that, who will also look at it and be like, why is there an attack as against us? You understand? That I'm just trying to highlight the fact that on different accounts, there's two sides of a coin, and these two sides are feeling differently about what is happening. As someone who has an Islamic background, I've seen my parents talk about how you're your brother's keeper, you are this. So imagine my father seated and then they're saying that Muslims are this. What kind of feeling would he have? Would he feel comfortable to also tell people? Would he feel comfortable to actually express himself in public, to pray openly, or to be thankful in his faith openly, without feeling that somebody somewhere who is of another faith will not think that this person is up to no good? I think that most of the time when these bandits, these terrorists want to do anything or attack a country, they look at what is sellable. They look at what can be used. Yeah. You understand? Just the same way the saviors also try to look at what can be used to enter a country or to make their name. You see some petty land disputes and this thing here, before you know it, they'll tell you Fulani headsmen did it. Meanwhile, if you go, for some of the people that they have captured and they have even videoed, you realize that these people don't even speak Fulani. They don't even know what Fulani. They're just neighboring communities who have come to attack. But the general story, or the story that sells or can make headline, is if it's targeted as Fulani headsmen, if it's targeted as Christian genocide, if it's targeted as Muslim genocide, if it's targeted as genocide in general. So, as I said, beyond all of these things that were saying, the government, the Nigerian government, should look more into securing the lives of every Nigerian, be it a different faith from the other. The lives and properties of every Nigerian should continue to remain the key, the paramount thing to do. Without safety, we're literally opening our, I don't know if yash is the right word to use on TV, but we're literally opening ourselves, right, to anything to enter. We are literally asking for whatever comes. We are literally asking to be called a disgraced country. We are literally asking to be called a failed country, which I don't believe that Nigeria is. But goodness, do you have like a parting shot for our dear Nigerians and this conversation in general? Or if you have a particular statement for Trump himself.
What I want to say to the president of the US, as Nigerians, we don't care, we don't go back to our shell because though the US is out. And as well, I will also advise all Nigerians that we should let's strive, let's struggle to get unity, because unity is a very powerful weapon. When we're all united, no other country can just come and label us or give us name. That's just it.
Well, as we wrap up this conversation, I just feel like the remarks by President Trump about Nigeria may have the effect of forcing a national conversation, which we are already having. The key for Nigerians is to engage consciously, not to get up or caught up in the fear or blame, but to push for truth and accountability and unity, just like Goodness have mentioned. Whether you agree with the terms genocide or not, the underlying issue is real. Insecurity, violence, religious and ethnic tensions, all of this, which demand action. So I'll leave you with this question. What kind of Nigeria do you want to see in 5 years? A Nigeria where violence is framed and addressed honestly, where every citizen feels protected, and where national sovereignty and global cooperation go hand in hand. So thank you for this conversation. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being part of this very important conversation. Of course, goodness, thank you for your insights. Please do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.